The three L'Anse Creuse high school students will not face any jail time. They will not be placed on the sex offenders registry, and they could have their records wiped clean in 3 years. But what they won't be able to do is use the internet. Ryan Modafferi, Gregory Quapik, and Nicholas Kelly sentenced to probation, and they will not be able to use or touch a cell phone or a computer with the internet.
Other than that,
It's a very fine line. I mean, from no contact with each other to the no use of a cell phone. You know, there are people, I'm sure, at that school that sees one kid pick up a cell phone, they're going to report it.
Kelly was expelled from the school because of the charges. He's forced to finish school online. Now, you can see how sexting photos can lead to serious trouble here. Joining us now, Macomb County Prosecutor Eric Smith. Thanks for coming in and talking with us about this today. All right.
It's a subject that needs to get out there.
Exactly, and so many kids, I mean, it seems like it's become so much part of the culture to do this kind of thing, they don't realize the implications.
I think that's exactly it. They don't realize the implications. Well, we saw the implications today. Three young men facing, two of them facing 15-year felony charges and one facing a 7-year felony charge. They could have all been sentenced to 3 years in prison today, and they were placed on HIDA, but if they violate their probation in any way over the next 3 years, they will be sent into prison.
So explain what this HIDA is, and some people will complain that it softened the laws that would have allowed you to get tougher on these people.
Well, it gives kids who make a mistake a second chance. Between the ages of 17 and 21, if you commit certain felonies, you have an opportunity to be on probation for, well, in this case, 3 years. And if you successfully complete the probation, it'll be removed from your record. Also in that, though, you can be sentenced to 3 years in prison. And oftentimes in sex offenses, including these cases, you are sentenced to 3 years in prison. The only reason that didn't happen today was because the victim asked the judge not to put them in jail. And the judge really relied on that. The judge is in a difficult spot. We, of course, would have liked to have seen a little tougher sentence, but I understand the difficult position the judge was in.
Do you have any leeway over whether they are allowed this option between 17 and 21, or is that automatic? A 17 to 21-year-old comes in as a defendant, and it's up to the court.
There's a lot of things involved in it. Prior history, the age of the victims, the offense itself. In this case, it happens oftentimes if a defendant is this age and if the victim wants that to go forward. But the problem is, once you used it once, you can't use it again, and if he violates, they were convicted of, two of them were convicted of criminal sexual conduct in the 3rd degree, which is automatic prison time.
So that's even if they pick up a telephone, because they're not allowed to have a phone or a computer, so if somebody sees them doing that, it could be off to jail, do not pass go.
Sex offenders oftentimes get surprise home visits, and that's exactly what these gentlemen are. So they're going to get surprise home visits. It'll be difficult to monitor on a day-to-day basis whether they're using phones. Depends if they want to take that sort of chance.
We're talking about the 17 to 21 gap. What about all these kids younger than 17? Because a lot of them think that, hey, I'm just a kid, this is just kid stuff, and you know, how serious it is for them because they don't face jail time necessarily.
Well, I wouldn't exactly say that. It depends on what it is. We had a case recently where at a school, guys asked for ex-girlfriend photos, and they created a website with all these naked pictures of ex-girlfriends. So they solicited these photos.
And these are high school and middle school students.
Yes, and as a result of this, some of them served some time. It's a scary thing. We try and tell people, if you do not send a photo that you don't want your grandma to see. Once you send that photo, everyone has access to that photo, including internet predators, not just their boyfriend. And internet predators often use those photos to find the victim and then blackmail the victim for more pictures.
So if a young man says, don't worry, I won't show it to anybody else, you can almost guarantee he's going to show it to somebody else.
Everyone will see it. And if you forward that picture, that's a 7-year felony.
All right, Eric Smith, thank you so much for stopping in.
My pleasure.
All right, good to see you, as always. All right, Glenda.